You have big ambitions and dreams. You want to succeed and ultimately live the life you've always envisioned. But there's one problem. You feel lazy. You know exactly what you should be doing, yet you don't take action. This leads to feelings of guilt because deep down, you realize you're capable of so much more. This guilt builds up over days, weeks, and months until it turns into resignation. Then the new year comes around, bringing the same goals as before. You begin strong, fueled by motivation and a little optimism, but soon enough, procrastination sneaks in, like an unwelcome relative who always shows up unexpectedly. Your persistent procrastination turns into a daily habit of laziness, and before long, you start to see yourself as lazy. So, how can we break this pattern and free ourselves from procrastination? There are countless videos online, but most only tackle the symptoms, like deleting social media or removing distractions. While these can help temporarily, they don't address the real cause. The root of procrastination, that root cause, can be summed up in one word: inertia. In physics, inertia is the tendency of an object at rest to stay at rest, and of an object in motion to keep moving unless acted on by an outside force. This is Newton's first law of motion, and it applies just as well to tasks as it does to objects. Starting any task, no matter how small, requires an initial push, some energy to overcome the state of rest, or inertia. And this is exactly where the problem lies. We make this first push seem so huge and difficult in our minds that we avoid the task altogether, instead distracting ourselves with easy dopamine hits. To beat procrastination, we have to break inertia, and there are two ways to do that. Getting started is the hardest part, so make it as easy as possible by lowering the stakes and taking the smallest step forward. For instance, if you tell yourself you have to write a 5,000-word essay, inertia feels overwhelming because the task feels too big. But if you say, I'm only going to write 50 words, inertia feels much smaller and easier to overcome. Starting feels simple without relying on willpower or discipline. Another effective method is the 2-minute rule. If you don't feel like working, just commit to doing it for 2 minutes, then you can stop. For example, if you don't want to clean your room, put on a song, start cleaning, and stop when the music ends. Often you'll find yourself continuing past 2 minutes, or writing more than 50 words. This works because objects in motion tend to stay in motion. Once we start, we build momentum that keeps us going longer. At first, it's like pushing a ball uphill, but once you overcome inertia, it's all downhill from there. That's why the first push should be small and simple. Lower the stakes and start with just 2 minutes. You can use these two techniques in any part of your life to overcome procrastination, whether it's going to the gym, working on a